This is episode 4 of season 1. And, we'll see. We ended off at this page. I forgot to show you the picture, guys. Sorry again on this. But there's like, I forget to show you the picture. But those are like the only pictures, really. There's only a few more pictures left in the book to show you guys. But I'm just gonna keep on reading. We're still on Roald Dahl, the Magic Finger. It's not long till we're done, like 15 more pages. Wait, I've already said that. But not much, and half of this is just like retell and stuff. So at last, morning came, and with the warm sun. Okay, I already read all that. So I looked over the edge. I hope she could. What is it, my love? Said Mr. Gregg. He stood up and peeped over the side. He got the surprise of his life. On the ground below them stood the 4 enormous ducks, as tall as men, and 3 of them were holding guns in their hands. One had Mr. Gregg's gun, one had Philip's gun, and one had William's gun. The guns were pointing right up at their nest. No, called out Mr. and Miss Gregg both together. Don't shoot! Please don't shoot! Why not? Said one of the ducks. It was the one duck who was holding the gun. You are always shooting us. Oh, but it's not the same, Mr. Gregg said. We are allowed to shoot ducks. Who allows you? Asked the duck. We allow each other, said Mr. Gregg. It is very nice, said the duck. Very nice, said the duck. And now we are now to allow each other to shoot you. I would have loved to see Mr. Gregg's face just then. Oh, please, cried Miss Gregg. My 2 little children are up here with us. You wouldn't shoot my children. I'll never do it again, cried Mr. Gregg. Never, never, never. Do you really mean that? Asked the duck. I do mean it, said Mr. Gregg. I'll never shoot another duck as long as I live. Is that good enough? Said the duck. What about deer? I'll do anything if you will only put those guns down, cried Mr. Gregg. I'll never shoot another duck or another deer or anything else again. Will you give me that word? Will you give me your word on that? Said the duck. I will, said Mr. Gregg. Will you throw away your guns? Asked the duck. I will break them into tiny bits, said Mr. Gregg. And I'll never need you to be afraid of me or my family. Then all at once everything went black. Before their eyes they couldn't see. At the same time, the funny feeling came over all of them, and they heard the great wind blowing in their ears. Then the black was before their eyes turned to blue, turned to green, then turned to red, then turned to gold, and then suddenly there they were standing in a lovely bright sunshine in their own garden near their own house. Everything was back to normal again. Our wings have gone, cried Mr. Gregg, and our arms have come back, and we're not tiny anymore, laughed Miss Gregg. Oh, I am so glad. Philip and William began dancing with joy. Then high above their heads, they heard the call of the wild duck. They looked up and they saw the 4 birds, lovely against the blue sky, flying very close together, heading back to the lake in the woods. It must have been half an hour later that I myself walked to the Gregg's garden, and I had to see how things were going, and I must admit I was expecting the worst. At the gate I stopped and stared. It was a quite queer sight. So that's the page I just read. In the corner, Mr. Greg was smashing 3 guns into tiny pieces with a huge hammer. In another corner, Miss Gregg was placing beautiful flowers upon 16 tiny mounds of soil, which I learned later they were graves of the ducks that they had shot the day before. So they bury the ducks and they're placing flowers on them, and he's breaking the guns. And in the middle of the yard stood Philip and William with a sack of their father's best barley beside them. They were surrounded by ducks, doves, pigeons, sparrows, robins, larks, and many other kinds that I didn't know. I didn't know. And the birds were eating the barley that the boys were scattering by handful. So I guess there's pictures for the last few pages. So I'll show you guys all of them after I'm reading. Good morning, Mr. Gregg. Good morning, Mr. Gregg, I said. Mr. Gregg lowered the hammer and looked at me. My name is not Mr. Gregg anymore, he said. In honor of my fellow feathered friends, I've changed it from Gregg to Egg. And I am Miss Egg, said Miss Gregg. What happened, I asked. They seemed to have gone completely dotty, all 4 of them. Philip and William then began to tell me the whole story. Then they finished. William said, Look, there is a nest. You can see it right up in the top tree. That's where we slept last night. I built it all myself, Mr. Egg said proudly. Every stick of it. Let's see. I'm going to show you guys the picture for longer so you can see all the details. There you go. If you don't believe us, Mr. Egg said, just go inside the house and take a look at the bathroom. It's a mess. They filled the tub right up to the brim, Philip said. They must have been swimming around in it all night, and feathers everywhere. Ducks like water, Mr. Egg said. I'm glad they had a good time. Just then, somewhere over the lake, there came a loud bang. Someone shooting, I cried. That'll be Jim Copper. If you don't know who Jim Copper is. Well, really, if you don't, so from Stranger Things, there is a cop named Jim Hopper. So, Jim Copper, Mr. Egg said. Him and his 3 boys, they're shooting mad at those coppers. Their whole coppers are the whole coppers are. They're shooting mad. Those coppers are the whole family. Suddenly, I started to see red. I got very hot all over. Then the tip of my finger began tingling most terribly. I could feel the power building up and up inside of me. I turned and stared, running towards the lake as fast as I could. Hey, shouted Mr. Egg. What's up? Where are you going? To find the coppers, I called back. But why? Wait and see, I said. They'll be nesting in trees tonight, every one of them. And guys, that's the end right there. And then this is just like a retell and stuff. So guys, we finished the first book. So guys, come back and we will be reading. Hold on, let me get it out. If I can get it out. Hold on, let me make this easier. I'll take out a big book and then I'll take out the small book. Okay, this is really hard, but the next book we will be reading, hold on, I almost got it, is, you know, I'll just show you on the back. We will be reading this book right here, SEO Trot, or SO Trot. I don't know how to pronounce it, but sorry, Roald. Don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just going to call it SO Trot. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. But guys, we finished book 1. This is going to be a series, so come back for episode 5 of season 1. Bye guys!